Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 114 of Pokerole. We did session 113 just last week, but that was a makeup week, so to return to normal schedule, there's also a stream this week, and that is why Pokerole is suddenly doing a kind of double week episode thing. We will be going back to 2 weeks after this, for those not in the know, because then we'll be back on our normal schedule. But we are returning on to our adventures at Sea Spray, and geez, I actually kind of forgot where we left off, but that's why we have recaps. Well, I remember some things we did last session, such as helping Shaman a bit. But I think there's more plans for everybody for today's adventure. I don't know. I think we're going to split up again, I assume, but we will see. Of course, before we begin, if you like the video, do think about giving it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that as well. But if you really want to help out, think about coming over to Twitch. We're trying to reach a partner over here, but we need more viewers to do that. So if you want to come by, whether it's to lurk or to talk, think about doing so, because it does make a big, big difference, and we would honestly love to have you. We also have a pretty cool Discord community, as well as a Pokerole Discord you can get links off of from there. I have a coffee link if you want to help directly monetize my content, and I have a merch store if you want to buy some cool stuff, including stuff involving Tucker. Links are all in the description. Check them out at your leisure. That includes the wiki link, of course, that we also have for this game, that I will always shout out, because Indio has done great work, and the recaps are always there for every episode, like usually around a week or less after an episode happens. So check that stuff out if you're interested. But how is all the players today, actually?
I'm doing pretty good.
Stellar.
Yep, I'm good.
Good. And Car is having a decent day, I think.
Sorry, I'm doing alright. I was reading chat and also have been getting mildly prepared at the last minute because...
Oh, you're fine.
I am the reason we are late this time because I encourage tangential chat.
Well, I mean, I still showed up after Tubby did. I noticed that right when I stepped away, Tubby showed up. I was like, ah, damn, he's not late. Now I'm late. The only person who's late is whoever's last, so this was my... Now I was late.
I mean, that's not necessarily true if we're all early.
That's true.
I mean, that's true. Also, Ennio, you may not be in the chat, but you'll probably watch this later. As always, thank you for the recap things. I'm going to shorten the recap summary this time if I can, mostly because I want us to all get on with the game, because I know I didn't get to do terribly much with everyone last time, which was also at least partially my fault because I lingered perhaps a little bit too long in the fancy shop I built.
Hey, listen, merchants are fun, alright? You had fun with the merchant, you had fun with the merchant stock, and I do believe we'll be coming back to that stock, so it wasn't a waste of time. I feel like we're going to get more items there. Wasn't there something that intrigued me? What was the list of items? Oh yeah, wait, it's on the DMs. I'll go check it there.
Yes, it's in the group DMs, if you want to look. The names are there. I only gave the effects to Kyrio for the things that he got, or the things that Burke got, and I did not tell them exactly what their coat does. But
right. One of them sounded Vorish. I remember everybody calling that one out. I don't remember which one it was.
The Gloomhunger pendant, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, yeah. It probably has some weird spooky effect, though. Lets you eat ghosts. I don't know.
Don't think much of you.
Oh, you better watch out, Sam.
Which Brooke is already kind of almost done, anyways. You better watch out.
Yeah, if it lets you eat ghosts, then
Yeah.
you like go into spooky sleep. You hear like squirrel scratching. You look around.
I remember specifically, though, the things we were given for our little mission from Karserus. Those water-breathing things. That's super cool, and we should buy those at some point. That could be useful for other missions. If they sell them, yeah.
They weren't on the list, yeah, so we might just be borrowing them.
Should figure out how to craft them, then.
They might sell them to you, but they might require more favors. Do you want to owe them more favors?
Do we want to do more swimming missions? Brooke would say yes. Like, I know that much.
We'll have to see what you feel about this one little mission before you do more.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how Tucker handles this. I'm kind of curious.
Well, I mean that for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how all of you are going to deal with dark water.
Oh no.
Hope nobody has thalassophobia. That would be really awkward if Brooke had that.
A water Pokemon with thalassophobia. That sounds interesting.
Right, let me get into the summary so we can begin.
Mhm.
So, last session was number 113, 113 for those who don't like the shortening. One Witch, Two Witch, Good Witch, Ghost Witch, which I'm very proud of that title, even
Thank
though
you
it's
for
silly.
it.
So, we started the session off, everybody got up and went to go see Shaman at the other hospital that you didn't go to because they got moved due to Crawdaunt shenanigans from the session prior. And when the party arrived, they found that the hospital is already near max capacity in terms of how many patients there are because of how many had to get moved. And they were escorted by Nurse Skitty, who is now apparently a fan favorite NPC because I gave them a voice that everybody loves, to the hospital room where Shaman is. And of course, Hatterene has come with everybody since Shaman is going to be their patient. And Hatterene sits down and attempts to help Shaman and get a better understanding of what they are working with. And over the course of at least an hour and a half, if not more, because I forget the exact amount of time in game, they have managed to create what they call bridges, but described it as if there's great fissures in Shaman's psyche that, like, something got torn out. Which isn't entirely inaccurate, especially once certain things are explained to them, I believe, by Tucker. So it would make sense, because to them, not only is their mind broken, but their spirit is as well. And it's going to take a lot of work to get Shaman functional and recovered enough to be anything resembling a person again. But they don't mind staying in Sea Spray because that was their intent all along. They knew that this was not going to be an easy patient. And so they are currently staying at the hospital with Lizard and Riley and the other Shaman.
And Tucker, when he's not having something more important to do, is going to be spending time here too.
Yes, and also Tucker.
He's trying to take notes on all of this. He wants to learn this stuff.
Tucker wants to learn to be a therapist.
Basically.
I don't know if Hatterene is the best Pokemon for that because they kind of get to cheat.
True, but they've learned a bit about Hatterene. They've also directly connected with Hatterene as well, so there's probably a little bit there that Tucker can glean into their process thanks to that as well. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect learning, and Hatterene's not here to teach. Hatterene's here to help heal. But Tucker's like noting how this works in the best way he can. Because he likes to heal people too. Listen. Therapist doggo is a perfect combination of words, okay?
Agreed.
That's fair. Also, apparently, yeah, Kyrio made art, but it's not finished yet. It still looks really good.
I will share it when it becomes plot timed, I guess. Like when it matches up to
Relevant?
Yeah, relevant, that's the word.
So... No, you're fine. Ralph and Rida, since Tucker is staying at the hospital, they go to train. Ralph mostly following Rida, I guess under the assumption that they were going to resume their investigation. Rida wants to train because they want to be prepared, and also the character wants their special move first, which is also fine because Ralph is the same number of pips away from getting Psychic as Rida is from getting their thing. Brooke, however, goes to Jocelyn, who is doing practice laps at the arena, so Brooke ends up basically going the same way as Rida and Ralph for their little excursion. And they go down to into the water portion of Sea Spray and come to a shop called the Ebbing Tide, which if it gave off spooky Ursula house vibes, then I did something right. But they go inside to this big conch shell thing and find their way up into an air pocket. And doesn't look like anybody's there. They look around, they see the items, and Brooke sees a coat. An old, like, pirate captain's coat with spooky talismans on it and straps for things that could probably go on, but it does not have. And of course, the first thing that Brooke does is put it on, and I apologize, I did not award you an experience point for doing that, so please add another experience point to your
Okay.
character sheet.
Sure.
Because that was very in character.
Very rash.
Yes. I didn't even think about that initially. But eventually, the apprentice of the shopkeeper, a Bergmite named Dysphoria, reveals themselves. And shortly thereafter, so does Karserus, who is a Cursula, haha, that is the shopkeeper. And Jocelyn, of course, is a little confused, because last time they were here, there was no apprentice, and, you know, Jocelyn has been acting kind of cagey and nervous, with good reason, because apparently Karserus is some sort of sea witch. Because they've even got a whole alchemy cauldron setup going on, in addition to all the creepy, weird, very cursed items that they have. And, of course, they offer Brooke to look around while they have Dysphoria fill Brooke's diamond with Ice Beam, because that's what Brooke wanted. And they seem to be doing it free of charge. Jocelyn, of course, being very much leery about that, implying that nothing in this shop is free of charge. But Brooke gets to ask Karserus about the various curios in the shop, including the coat he put on. And Karserus offers to give Brooke the coat in exchange for a favor. They want Brooke and Team Cheer specifically to get a certain Pokemon that had been scaring away potential customers to move away. That's not exactly how they worded it, though, if I recall correctly. I like that that's the polite way it's put in the summary. But, Karserus needed it to be gotten rid of. But, Brooke makes the agreement, and is given back what is now a move gem infused with Ice Beam, along with a couple necklaces that allow land-dwelling Pokemon to breathe underwater, which Tucker's player Charm is very interested in, because Charm really likes the idea of the underwater missions and levels in PMD.
Well, we also had a few discussions about underwater areas, so, you know.
I'm aware. You guys don't have Riley with you anymore. You can't do BSOP or a bubble nonsense. Not that that would have given you enough oxygen to make a long trip anyway.
Now we have psychic bubbles.
Also would not be able to hold enough oxygen for a long trip.
Yep, we need to produce oxygen from the water like fishies. Otherwise, we gotta drown eventually. Or asphyxiate, depending on if the bubble's still holding on.
Also, I'm going to read this line from the summary because it's well written, and I feel like Ennio put a lot of effort into it without actually putting in the various descriptions of things that I gave, because I know that would have been too much. Brooke continues to ask about the many items in the shop, from curious orbs to off-talismans and strangely sentient security lamps, fascinated both by the many peculiar items and the shop's overall aesthetic. And in the course of asking about this, Brooke learns that Karserus is the adoptive parent of Lytton from Team Mischief Makers, which is of no surprise because I practically gave them the same voice. On purpose. But they don't visit the shop often because the shop is underwater, even though it's in an air pocket. But after Brooke receives descriptions of the items and what they could potentially do, Brooke settles on purchasing one of the lamps. As, well, everything piques his interest, he doesn't have enough money to purchase everything, which is fine. I feel like I've put so much stuff out there that you guys don't have money for. I'm going to have to start showering you in money for some reason.
Please
Don't we
do.
get paid at some point?
I would like to do... Oh, what's that, Kyrio?
Aren't we supposed to get paid?
Maybe.
Probably.
I was also going to say, the V special mission, given how money grubbing he is, might involve some earnings from it.
Maybe. Also, I'm sure that if you bother Blaze and or Pangoro when you're next in town, be like, hey, when's my next paycheck? And they're like, wait, what?
You
It's been months,
paid?
man.
Though, to be fair, most of the guild things, like, part of the stipend we receive is supposed to be part of the payment, but you haven't received terribly much. So, in any case, Karserus allows Brooke and Jocelyn to take the back way out, which leads up through their house, which opens up out to a residential front on a street near the docks. Sorry, I had something in my throat. After readjusting to natural sunlight, Jocelyn suggests to Brooke that they should go and meet his friends so he could introduce Brooke to them. Brooke's interest is piqued, and he takes Jocelyn up on his offer. What?
What?
It was more Brooke saying you have interesting friends.
Ah, yes. I can see how that would... Yeah. Brooke was saying that Jocelyn had interesting friends, and Jocelyn... That is correct. And Jocelyn would still love to introduce Brooke to some of the other Pokemon they know at some point. Which I think Brooke was open to. But for now, we are sort of open-ended on what the players can do at the moment. What do you want to do at this very moment? I know currently we have 2 players who are training. They have already received their pips for the day. We have one who is being and or learning to be therapy puppy, and we have one who is with Jocelyn near the docks.
So, I'm going to just say, I imagine Hatterene is, doing, occasional links/treatments. It's not like Hatterene's going to do this all the time. Obviously, that would exhaust Hatterene. So, Tucker would probably be hanging out, when Hatterene is doing things, but if Hatterene is taking a break or is, done for a few hours, then Tucker was probably going to try to do other things or just find things to do around town. So in other words, he's going to passively return to the hospital here and there, but he is able to do other things, mechanically speaking.
For the most part, Hatterene is going to take a break for now, because if they do too much, they risk creating problems rather than fixing them. So, for now, they're settling in, and oh yeah, right, Liar is also at the hospital.
Yeah.
I forgot. How could I forget about Liar?
There's also, Tucker is kind of slightly I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Tucker's kind of trying to help Liar out, just keep an eye on him in case he gets in case they get into any trouble or anything. So, also another reason to hang out the hospital.
Yeah, there isn't terribly much going on at the hospital, and eventually Lizard convinces Riley that it's going to be fine, and they can leave for now, even though Riley is very reluctant to do so. So they go off into town to do their own thing.
Oh yeah, Tucker. I will note that Tucker was a little curious why Riley was accompanying. He was kind of wondering if Riley would try something, because he knows that Riley has healing abilities and stuff, and was wondering if he learned anything else as a Lucario. He would not say anything out loud though, so it was kind of just an idle thought pattern. What does Riley do, if anything, while he was at the hospital?
For the most part, they have been observing Hatterene and the Shaman.
Clearly feeling some responsibility, much like Tucker does.
But yes, is there anywhere Tucker specifically wants to go?
Well, it would make sense for him to finally catch up on that letter, honestly. He wasn't gonna put that off forever. He is a good puppo, and he will respond to people.
Can you promote me, by the way?
Oh, sure. It is worth knowing he does not. I don't believe he has his outfit, so he can't be roped into servitude right now, unfortunately.
I have a spare.
Yeah, I think they're out of the inventory because I think they were left at base. So.
Okay, because I'm gonna put away these models.
While it would actually be
100.
a decent idea to earn some money, and Tucker is not currently interested in working at Cafe V at this particular trip, unless, of course, it has to do with the letter, maybe.
Okay.
100% he has a spare outfit.
Oh, I'm certain V does. So you're going to Cafe V. Brooke, what are you doing?
Oh, my adventure for today is kind of done, so I guess I'll just go back and work on my moves again.
Work on what?
Okie dokie. Just let
Training
me know.
moves.
Just let me know
Fair.
what moves you're doing. And Justin will be training with you, so that makes it easier.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and express a small critique, because I just realized something. Brooke is the most often times earning something because of his nature, because being brash is very obvious. But I have noticed that I think, like, Tucker's nature on by comparison, being docile, is so soft of a nature, I don't think I have ever earned an experience for being docile.
I don't think you have, and I'm sorry.
Because it doesn't stand out as much, is what I'm saying. I know you're not trying to treat me unfairly, but I did notice that. I just looked up docile in the core rulebook. It was like, it basically stated, like, yeah, they don't stand out. They don't have heavy aspirations, but they want to help people and put others first and stuff like that. So I think that I am doing a decent job with that as Tucker.
I've done a very bad job of rewarding y'all extra XP based on personality, because I keep forgetting your natures. Because Ralph is quirky, and I'm pretty sure there's more than a few times I should have rewarded extra.
That's
He's quirky like all the time.
yeah. He basically lives that. So. And then, what is Ryda? I don't think I've ever looked at Ryda.
Ryda is serious, and I put unhinged because,
yeah, fair. Well, again, Ryda does live the serious, so that's fair too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I get so used to the way that your characters act and react that it doesn't stand out to me as much when they are doing something incredibly tied to their nature. Because your natures fit so well, it's just that Rash is capable of standing out.
Yeah, well, it's not really your fault even, because Rash, the thing about Rash is it's meant to stand out. That's the whole point of being Rash, right?
Druk honestly can stand to be more rash, but he actually actively suppresses his impulses most of the time.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't have the nature, but he knows when to hold his tongue sometimes. Sometimes.
It's probably why I notice it more. Okay, so what move are you working on, Brooke?
I want to finish out Ice Gun Leer if possible.
Okay, go ahead and add one more pip. Almost there.
Where does it?
And Tucker probably would not be practicing Thunder Fang at the hospital.
That would be a good idea. Alright.
Oh, it would be perfect. It's like, alright, 3, 2, 1, clear.
My exact
Somebody has a heart attack. Tucker's like, wait, chop, to help.
Nibble, nibble. Do Ralph and Ryda want to do anything else today?
Ralph, as Ryda's sort of sidekick, will tag along with whatever she's doing.
I like how Ralph is the sidekick in this.
Ralph is very happily the sidekick in this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were appointed by Eternatus, so Eternatus questioning your authority, I guess. Even though I do all the time.
Actually, wait, what's Ralph's opinion on Eternatus right now?
Kind of a jerk who just, enforces his will because he's powerful enough to do it. And he totally is of the mindset that if everyone in the cave had jumped him at once, they'd have kicked his ass. I mean, they'd have been hurt, but it would have been like a 20-on-1. Like they.
So Tucker has no interest in.
Was on his way back. I mean, a few of us were down, but it was like a 8-on-1, and with a couple other people actively en route to the cave. So Zeal probably would have got there mid-fight. Ralph thinks that if we had all jumped him at once, we could have taken him.
We
Tuck-
haven't actually fought against an actual god yet, so
No.
I'm not entirely sure.
I wonder what would... Well, I mean, we fought a faker, I suppose, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tucker wouldn't agree with the trying to kick Eternatus' ass part, but otherwise agrees with the whole... Is very similar mentality to Ralph then about how Eternatus is kind of a jerk. Yeah.
So which song would you prefer for Cafe V? The event song or the locale song?
Depends on how important the letter is, I guess. Or it depends on if anything special happened there at the cafe, I suppose. If it's just a normal day, then I suppose the normal song would be best. Let's see, where is
Okay,
it?
normal song then. It's like at the bottom.
Is it an event?
Number 38.
Oh, 38? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's before it had a name. That's right.
Righto. Been a while since we've heard this. Now then, where?
Low down somewhere. It's been a while since we've seen V. Probably down in the bank a bit.
We might get a new Eevee.
I will also.
Oh no! Ha!
Why is the whole bag inventory suddenly very dim? That's weird. Okay. Oh, now it's lit up. Oh, it's dim because I can't interact while you're in the bag, and now they finally have like a visual detail for that. That's kind of cool.
Oh, neat.
It must have been an update at some point. Forgot how big his head is on the model.
There we go.
Standing on an Eevee while talking to an Eevee. This works.
I'm gonna move you over the Meryl. It makes you more visible.
That's true.
Right then. So you go to Cafe V, and it seems just as busy as the last time you left it.
Tucker just kind of gives things a look over before entering, looking through the windows, making sure everything is normal. I don't remember what the letter said. It's been such a long time since it was read.
Oh my goodness. Shoot, hang on. I might need to look for it.
Though it's not an inventory item, I think Tucker probably has the letter, given that I think it was addressed to him and his team, but him specifically
Yes,
too.
it was.
So it was his letter.
Shoot, where is it?
Yeah, try to recall what was in it. Not too many details were given, but it was indicated that the task was involved.
Okay, I don't think there was an actual written letter for it.
Maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was just a general description. So, what's the general description of the letter?
As I recall, the general description of the letter is that V has a proposal for you that requires Tucker and Team Cheer's expertise as pioneers for this venture that they have in mind. And it's also something that can, at least at the moment, wait. It didn't seem like they were in a huge rush, but they wanted you specifically for trust reasons. Clear.
In that case, Tucker is coming over to basically find out what's up, see if it's something that they can fit into their schedule, and just learn more details then. So he will, Tucker will enter kind of daintily. Not making too much of a fuss with all the busy crowds, but waiting to see who is available to talk to in the as far as employees today.
So as you're looking around, you are approached by Skitty in a maid outfit.
Oh no.
Yes, hello. How may I help you today? Would you like a seat to sit at inside or outside? As we have new outside seating. The last ones got burnt because Flareon was very upset with them. Apparently. This is okay though, because sometimes you just have to let out the anger. Otherwise it becomes inside angry, and that is very unpleasant. How are you doing today? I have a menu here for you. Would you like to see it?
And of course they have a menu balanced on their tail because their tails have the little palm bobble thingies.
Tucker processes all those words for a minute and then expresses,
Hey, wait. Right? Do you also work at the hospital? Or is that a relative of yours? Oh, you must have seen me, but also not seen me, because I only work at one place at a time. Shh, do not tell anyone.
Tucker nods.
I won't. I guess we hired new help lately. It does seem busier here than I remember. Oh yes, and some of the normal evolutions seem to be on vacation. After all, they have built up vacation days, and V needs to honor the vacation days, otherwise bad things could possibly happen, and or possibly quitting. That would be very bad. Upset friends is bad.
What's this? They should watch out if they're moonlighting too much, they'll evolve into a Umbreon. Oh, that's a good pun. Man, I'm surprised Ralph didn't make that. Tucker will kind of just nod and kind of follow this along, and it's under his breath say,
Yeah, some of them probably need a break from V now and then. And then Tucker will kind of speak up and go like, Well, I'm not here to eat. Is V around, actually? He sent me a letter. V is always around. You just need to look for them really hard. Or you could drop money. They always come when somebody accidentally drops some money, and then they are gone. They are gone super fast. So fast that almost nobody can see. But I can see, because I am they almost say Nurse Skitty. I am Maid Skitty, and I am one of the bestest servers in the cafe. You just wait. I will bring you your things lickety-split.
Via's crabs confirmed. I think we've already confirmed that a long time ago.
Serix, it's not... Okay, look, Skitty is fun to play, but also everyone seems to love Skitty, and I needed an excuse to use them.
Tucker just kind of nods along as Skitty talks, kind of slightly zoning out with the complete force of words in a non-stop organization. He eventually expresses,
Well, I can probably go find them then.
and kind of just slowly starts walking off to Skitty before his ears fall off.
Okay, let me know if you need anything at all. I am here as your maid, Skitty. I am here to serve. And just a little squeaker as they move away to go serve someone else.
And Tucker politely wags his tail as he sidles away.
Skitty is the kind of maid at this maid cafe that only gets the head pat option used on them.
Well, at least he's into the job. Tucker will, he already knows the layout of the cafe, so he'll probably check the employees' areas. Feeling comfortable enough to go in them since, you know, he's worked there. You know, like how somebody on their day off that at a place they work at, they still feel comfortable going into the back rooms because, like, they know that they know everybody there. It's fine.
Even though they probably shouldn't.
Even though they probably shouldn't. It's okay, though.
Why is Skitty bigger than Eevee and Poochyena in the Pokedex? That makes no sense.
Really? How much bigger?
Skitty's double the size.
Well, it has to be double the size, you know.
All right, then.
They're chasing after Waylord.
Don't you even.
There we go.
No! This
Skitty
is wrong.
a chubby chaser. Confirmed.
So that explains the whale. No.
Cease.
Oh god. I love how I didn't even say. I I love how Ralph just goes, "Hey, so tell me something. Is it true that?" And then you immediately knew where I was going with it.
Yes, I knew. I have heard. Glad I didn't make it a Vaporeon. There may be a reason there isn't a Vaporeon in this maid cafe.
Aw.
Something. Looked for D-Evo method just because. Let's skip back. Right. So you find V back in the kitchen. Rather than Flareon, there is Leafeon today. Leafeon does not like being near the fire, but you know they can bake. Their leafage is slightly toasty at the moment.
Oh no. Just add more, just hydrate afterwards, they'll be fine, probably. Tucker will stay out of the way of anybody cooking, like Leafeon. But he will... You said V was there, too?
Yep, V is there with them. They're currently overseeing them making something or other.
Tucker will politely stand by out of the way of the kitchen, like, main floor. But he will clear his throat for a second, just to get V's attention.
One of V's ears twitches, they turn and they see you, they light up. Tucker! It's been a while.
Hey, V. I got your letter.
Oh, wow. I had nearly forgotten about all that. I'm trying to remember V's voice, I'm sorry. I had nearly forgotten about all that. And now I remember all that. Come with me. We'll sit somewhere a little more private and chat. If you're comfortable with that, of course.
Yeah, I got time today.
Excellent! Leafeon, I'm going to be in my office. But wait, you have an office? Yeah? Why wouldn't I have an office? Oh right, you've never been to the back office. It's fine, I can show you later, I guess. I mean, I need to give you your paycheck eventually. Wait, I'm supposed to have a paycheck? V gets a look on their face. It's not the greedy kind of look that you're used to seeing. It's a concern kind of look.
Tucker also looks concerned in this.
Even I got paid. I wasn't working that long.
He kind of says under his breath.
This is why I am upset that Umbreon took vacation now. V smooths out their tail and readjusts their little top hat that they have. They have a nice sort of like Mad Hatter kind of outfit on with like little checkerboard designs on the tiny top hat.
Is that new? I don't remember the hat. Was the hat there before?
This one is a new outfit. You haven't seen V in
It's like more dapper then.
Okay, if you make any extra and or deformed biscuits, go ahead and just bring them to my office. We'll consume them, I guess. Never waste leftovers, right, boss? Correct! Waste nothing. Okay, come with me. Leafeon starts to follow. Not you! Oh, sorry.
Tucker does give Leafeon a bit of a sweet little smile, like, hi again, we don't have time to talk, but hello again.
But yes, V leads you back to their office. They have a desk that is far too large for them, but they've got, like, a stack of books and a stool right next to a chair that is even taller than the stool, and they hop up this makeshift little stepladder and then hop up onto the desk and sit on the desk and motion to a cushioned chair in front of the desk for you.
Tucker does a little hop and scramble onto the chair. It's probably a little high up as well if the desk is that high.
It makes them feel tall. So, what brought you back to Sea Spray? Besides me, of course, because clearly it wasn't me.
Tucker does a little giggle and expresses,
Well, you remember that terrorist attack that happened with the shaman?
I remember. You brought in a lot more business when you saved Sea Spray.
Well, now we're trying to save the shaman. They've been in bad shape in the hospitals around here, but, well, they're not doing so good mentally, so we have some help now. And, well, we're doing a few other things around town while we're here, too. That was the main thing, at least to me.
Aww. Still as sweet and predictable as ever.
he kind of looks embarrassed and a little bit like, is that a nice statement? Like he's not completely sure.
They cock their head to one side. They're smiling sweetly. Just the sort of... You can't tell if it's a backhanded compliment or not.
With V, it's hard to say.
Huh. I've been trying to help them out in my own way. The regular ones, not the hospitalized one. Sometimes they come by, they help me out with making tea. Customers love it, of course, and it helps get the word out. But nobody said I was an uncharitable soul. They sort of puff out their floofy chest, attempting to look proud.
Tucker actually does look happy to hear that.
Oh, that's good. I was worried they were just stuck in the hospital room with the other shaman the whole time. They're really trying to take care of that shaman the best they can, but it's good to hear they get out now and then.
I'm also helping them get acclimated to the town. And also town acclimated to them. Apparently, not many Pokemon knew they even existed. At least so nearby. So, I guess... I am helping. This is weird. Feels weird to admit I've been helping for no profit. They get a face.
Tucker actually puts on quite a proud little face hearing that.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, if Cafe V is so popular, you should do some charity work now and then. Plus, it'll just make the cafe more popular, right?
They have this face on like they want to be disgusted, but they can't. Like they're torn between hating the idea of charity work, but also loving the idea of improving business. Okay, no, we're here to talk business. Not my business. Well, also, yes, my... You know what I mean. Maybe. No, you don't know what I mean yet. Okay. Leafeon tea, please! Leafeon pokes their head in. I'll try, boss. I'm still struggling with these biscuits. Just get... who's here? Get Glaceon to help you. Glaceon's not gonna go near the oven. No, I mean, have Glaceon make the tea. Cold tea is fine. Oh. Okay. Glaceon... Just trailing off. Sorry, everyone decided they wanted to take vacation all at once. And I had to let them.
Tucker kind of just quietly says,
Now, that is a good thing to do.
he kind of just nods.
I wish they'd just taken them staggered, just one at a time. I can live without Umbreon, or Flareon, or Espeon, even Sylveon, when it's only one of them at a time. The cafe kind of uses them as a backbone.
I didn't realize so many of them were good chefs.
He kind of seems interested that, given his history, on what Rise told him about how even a quadruped can cook.
No, only Flareon and Sylveon are decent chefs. He had to train Leafeon and Glaceon to do certain things, but for the most part, it's just that they're gone, and not serving, so it's a little more difficult, and can't offer certain packages anymore until they come back. And I've also been working the floor, so I'm a little stressed, and I've started drinking tea.
That's better than what Ralph does.
He kind of just offhandedly mentions without any explanation.
Oh good, Ralph's here too. I don't know why I thought he wouldn't be. Hopefully he comes in. He's a good paying customer.
Oh yeah, the whole team's here, which is good. It seems like you needed the whole team for something, right?
Right! Sorry, I am distracted. They adjust their little top hat again. Anyway, distractions aside, there's a pause as, like, you can tell that V is staring off into space, trying to remember everything. And no, that isn't supposed to be an analog for what's happening to me, I promise. Sorry.
Tucker does not seem impatient. He's just enjoying his little cushiony tea.
I'm not used to feeling like this. I should probably take this stuff off. And they sort of, like, slowly take off their little costume hat and the cravat. The little vestment. Was that restricting blood flow to my head? Anyway, tailoring issues aside, I sent you that letter because I have a venture. I happen to have found an estate from some pompous, weird, rich family from the Miscontinent, because it's always from the Miscontinent, that decided to set up here. They apparently wanted to civilize the Plains continent. Yeah, look how far that's gotten us so far.
Tucker thinks for a moment.
I think I've seen some others from this miscontinent. Yeah, there's some knights that made a little place. Well, I don't know if it's civilized so much as, kind of knightly, I guess.
They didn't happen to set up on a plantation, did they? They get a nervous look.
Oh, no, they built their place around a big old tree, actually.
Oh, good. I was afraid that somebody else had found it in the interim, and I had missed out on an opportunity.
Tucker kind of tilts his head.
Found it? Is it, like, abandoned and missing or something?
You could say that. Last I checked with my sources, the entire place has been abandoned. But I'm betting that I could either set up something there, or I could take all the riches that are hidden inside and use them to spruce up the cafe. This clearly has nothing to do with just money in general.
Yeah, even Tucker pauses for a moment and then expresses,
Wait, if it was abandoned, how do you know they left their, like, money and stuff?
Well, because as far as the rumor-berry vine goes, the family disappeared under mysterious circumstances.
Tucker tilts an ear.
Mysterious manner. Yeah, we've done that before.
He kind of remembers a particular spooky location.
I don't think it's the same one, though. Well, unless that one had an evil ghost haunting it.
Well, I haven't heard anything about a ghost yet, but I also didn't really ask my sources. I wanted to wait for a response first. It's a shame that we don't really have the same mail system that other places have, but hey, it's fine. That said, my sources, and they sort of start toying with, like, a little brooch thing that they had their cravat through. It's just a shiny little metal trinket, but they toy with it in their forepaws. Say that I may encounter certain dangerous elements if I decide to go looking for whatever treasures may remain. So, after all, I wanted to pick the most trustworthy pioneering team that I know to help me out.
Tucker grins at that.
Well, we've been moving up. I think we're pretty trustworthy. I like to think we are.
Mind you, I would ask some of my employees to help with this, but not only would that leave us short-staffed at the cafe, and we're already really short-staffed right now, so I couldn't even ask them for obvious reasons. But they aren't exactly built for battle like you guys are. So I figure if we meet something tough, you and your friends will be able to help. And of course,
Tucker nods that logic and actually adds a thought.
Also, you'd have to pay them more.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm also gonna have to give you guys a cut of the profits, I guess.
Tucker does a sweet smile at that and nods. He led V into that statement.
Well, it's also going to depend on how much we can find. If anything, the plantation itself, the estate, is going to be the most valuable bit. If we can find the deed, that would be really good. Not that it necessarily means very much out here, but eh.
It does sound like an interesting place. I'd have to check with the rest of my team before I say yes, of course, but it does sound like something we do. And I'm guessing you already know, well, where to look? How far away from Sea Spray is it?
Unfortunately, it's not super close. We'd have to go through the Rusty Canyon, but, you know, that's the same for just about everywhere. I didn't want to be too far from any water, so you may or may not have seen something like it in the distance. And I'm just going to mark something on the map if I can.
Also, to explain the little bit of wiliness, Tucker already knows that if V doesn't have to pay somebody, he won't. Which is why he did encourage the statement that he did. He's learning. He knows not to do something for charity, unless he absolutely needs to.
Let's see. Because I already know where some things are.
Sure.
He says, not too far, brings out a map.
Starts triangulations.
Ah, shoot, that's way too big.
It always starts at, like, the largest size.
Well, it's big also because of where it is, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Effectively, around where that blue dot is. And yeah, that's a ways out. It's also a direction you haven't gone.
That's true. That's I was like thinking like that's towards Astarock. Have we been to Astarock?
Nope. You
No.
have seen it. It's a landmark in the distance.
Is it like a mountain? I forget.
It's a huge plateau.
Oh, okay. That is a bit of a trip. It's not the longest trip we've taken, Mount Shiver, but it is a bit of a trip.
It happens to be situated near Astarock, right about there. So, yeah, it is a bit of a ways out of Sea Spray. But, you know, I figured if I only took 2 of my employees, you know, when I was first thinking about this, it would be fine. They can run this place without me. It practically runs itself. But no. My sources told me that it wasn't a job for just 3 Pokemon to go in there.
Tucker nods. At that distance, I wouldn't recommend going with a small team anyways.
What surprises me is that they managed to build an estate all the way out there.
Tucker just cocked his head at that.
Yeah, that's actually kind of weird. I don't know why anybody built so far away from any other civilization. I mean, I don't even know when it was built, I guess. Maybe it was before Savontown, even.
Probably. Or at least when Savontown was being built. From what I understand it really was just this family with way too much money that decided they were going to set up first in some prime location and use it to make more money. Of course, with absolutely no regard for, what that land actually belongs to.
Tucker contemplates.
That was either a really bad decision, or there's something about that place, that location, that they liked. Something that made it worthwhile, maybe.
Probably an amount of fertile land. It's an estate with a plantation, after all.
He nods to that. Oh, and also Tucker will make note of the exact location on the map. Or the general location.
There.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think one of us physically has a map. Was it Ralph? But
I believe I do.
yeah.
Yep, Ralph has a map.
Tucker will think about this for a bit.
Well, I think this is something we could help you with. Would you be coming along?
Of course.
That would make it a lot easier to find, so that's good. Not that there's probably a million different manners and we'd mix up which one, but...
Well, I say estate. I don't know if it counts as a manor. I haven't gotten to see it myself, for obvious reasons. Oh, but, they did give me a drawing. Where is it? And they rummage through the drawers a bit. And of course, papers go falling to the ground. They don't care. They'll pick it up later. And they eventually bring out this drawing. So, who here has ever watched Rikki Tikki Tavi?
Sounds familiar.
It is an old movie about a mongoose. And the family lives on an estate that the design of this one is based off of.
Huh.
There's only maybe 2 or 3 good shots of the estate.
Here, I'll spell for you guys. Some of you are confused. This was an 1894 short story in the Jungle Book collection.
Yep.
Rikki Tikki Tavi, yeah. About a valiant young Indian gray mongoose, as Wikipedia says. I remember the story a long time. I don't remember the story, but I remember reading this story a long time ago, actually.
It's very interesting. That said, yeah, basically that sort of thing. Where it looks like it's not a mansion in the way that you would think of it, like the European style, but it is an estate with a plantation. It looks like from the rough sketch that the garden is overgrown. 1 second.
Sure.
Also, Kyrio, I believe you are correct on that. Or at the very least that they were off in that direction.
Would Kyrio say something?
Off in the deals. I'm just gonna tacitly.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, it's not super far, right? Yeah, it's not super duper far. So it'd be definitely an obvious landmark from there.
But yes, from the sketch, it seems like the garden is probably overgrown and the building is not in the best shape. But also, it is not the best sketch either. They didn't hire a sketch artist. They hired someone to scout out a place and/or find something that can make them profit.
Tucker muses for a moment as he looks at that.
Well, if it is good land, the Pioneering Society might be interested in that too. You could maybe talk to them about it after you own it, I suppose.
Or Pioneering Club, rather.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? For some reason, my brain did not.
Oh, it's okay. Tucker just muses to V.
Well, if that place has fertile land, the Pioneering Club might be interested in it too, given their goals. So maybe once you claim it, you could talk to them about maybe sharing the land, and it might earn you more of a profit too.
The familiar greedy smile you know from V comes back. I hadn't thought about that, Tucker. Thank you. But for now, you should probably go talk to your friends. I have plans to make, and a suitably ginormous backpack to pack.
Tucker nods.
Yeah, we still have some business in Sea Spray, but after we leave, we may be able to do it immediately. Well, it depends on what Brooke says. He is the leader, after all.
Well, like I said in the letter, I'm not in any rush. And since, as far as I know, nobody else has gone to clear it out, or, obtain it. Weird that no pioneer's gone to obtain it. Anyway, you have an excellent day, my favorite Poochie maid. And they go and gently boof your forehead with a paw.
Tucker does a little, and does give a smile and a bit of a wag.
Alright, I'll go talk to the rest of the team about this and get back to you.
And remember, if you ever want some money, you can always come work for Cafe V.
Tucker smiles broadly.
Not this trip, but definitely in the future.
He has to set boundaries, so he makes it clear.
Just the four-pointed stars in V's eyes as you leave. Mischievous grinning.
Hayden says, what I have a feeling is going to be another horror-themed estate. If it is, it would probably be a different type. But it might be something else. There are ways to make a state dangerous without having horror and spooks. Though that is certainly a viable strategy. But yeah, Tucker will head out after giving Leafeon and Glaceon, I assume, will be around. So he'll give them a bit of well-wishing before he heads out.
Glaceon has only just finished the tea as you start to leave.
Aw, Tucker doesn't get a nice tea. That's okay. Tucker will... Let's see. Brooke made it clear he was going to go trade more. That's fairly predictable for Brooke, so... Tucker would hit up the leader first, to put it simply. Iced tea? Well, of course, it's Glaceon making it.
Are we sure it's not tea blocks?
Just here's your iced tea. Oh, thank you. And it's just a block. It's just a block in the glass. You just
tilts
pour
up
it
the
out.
glass
shaped, cup shaped block just falls out. Yeah. This will be good in 30 minutes when it's melted.
Yes, tea-sickle.
Actually, a tea-sickle sounds kind of nice.
So, I'm going to say that Tucker's going to find Brooke taking a break with Jawson, and possibly Ralph and Bryda if they're taking a break from their training at this point as well. But knowing those two, I don't know if they would take breaks or not.
Fair.
I'm gonna move back to Sea Spray for the time being. Alright, there we go. Well, Tucker will not have any trouble finding them. He's been around the arena a fair bit now. Tucker will see what Brooke and Jocelyn are doing for training. As usual, he's not one to just butt in, so he'll hang out by the sidelines and kind of just watch for a bit. But make his presence known.
You notice that Brooke is wearing a new coat.
Oh. That will make him speak up, then. That's true.
Nice coat, Brooke. Where'd you get that?
Oh, hey, Tuck. I picked it up somewhere. He kind of nervously rubs his head.
Yeah. I saw Brooke somewhere interesting. And we got his little gemstone squared away. What brings you, little pooch?
Oh, that's great to hear. Well, I went to talk to V about that letter. Remember it, Brooke?
Brooke thinks for a moment. I think so. I don't think you read it to us, though.
Oh, did I not? Well, it didn't say a whole lot. it was mostly V saying that he needed our help with something as a team. So I went to see what it was about.
And
Alright.
Tucker will then give a recap of what V has explained. And Tucker will put particular enunciation that he made sure they'll get something for doing this, and also will make note of how this could be useful to the Pioneering Club.
Sounds interesting. Good job, Tucker. I think we should do it.
Tucker wags his tail.
I think so too. Bit of a trip, but I don't see why we couldn't do it on the way out of Sea Spray.
We've got nothing better to do.
Well, so long as you stay safe. After all, that's a long way from shore, Babbling Brook. Not a lot of water out that way. But if there's something that's built out there, gotta be water somewhere. Maybe a well. I wonder if there's a river. Well, wouldn't that be fortuitous?
Tucker nods.
Yeah, if the land is supposed to be all fertile, then there must be a decent water source around there too.
We'll survey the area and see what happens.
Well, don't let me keep you. After all, if you've got other plans, I can always go back to swimming laps.
Are we doing this like right now? I don't.
No. Like, Jocelyn is presuming that Brooke wants to like go talk to his team.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, technically, Brooke has something to share with the team, too. Just point
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah, Jocelyn also knows that. He's trying to be subtle and is perhaps being too subtle. Because Jocelyn's modes of subtle are either too subtle or not subtle enough.
Brooke will say, yeah, I think so. Thanks for everything, Jocelyn.
Anytime, Brooke. Don't be a stranger. You know I'm always here. Oh, wait. Has Lyra said anything about me?
They look hopefully at Brooke and Tucker.
Tucker will speak up.
Oh, Lyra's mostly hanging out with Hattery and the Shaman right now, which might be good. I mean, Lyra does have the ability to help people like soothe and such with their music. So, though it's kind of hard to understand what Lyra says. They might be talking about you, but well, I don't understand their language.
Between you and me, I feel like they had a good time last night.
That's good. I can't understand a thing they say. I just had to go off of, well, whether they were smiling or not.
Tucker smiles for a moment and does add to that.
Well, I do know emotions pretty well. I've been learning that, and Lyra's really happy lately, so I think you had a nice date with him.
That's good. That's good. Well, maybe I'll get to ask them again soon.
Flustered crocodile noises as he slowly tries to inch away.
Right, I have sand to inspect.
Shifty eyes starts running.
Brooke just chuckles. See you later, Jocelyn.
Tucker also just does a little giggle as he leaves.
See you later.
Just waving as he's running off. Team Rocket blasting off again.
Tucker turns to Brooke and just states the obvious.
I think he likes Lyra.
Hard to say. Brooke will mention that he probably saw Rida and Ralph somewhere around here, so
Tucker nods and
lead the way.
Yep, Tucker follows the brook as he likes to do.
Brooke and Tucker will be able to find Rida and Ralph in one of the training rooms. Not terribly hard to find them, especially given that they've been testing psychic abilities potentially against one another. So objects may be floating of their own accord right now.
Ooh, neat.
And there's just like 2 or 3 other Pokemon who had intended to use this training room, and they're just sort of sitting off to the side sipping juice boxes or something while they watch.
We should try to put on a good show while they're watching us.
Right, it's just like hyper focused, trying to probably chuck something at Ralph.
Jesus.
It's like, focus, Ralph.
Okay. Okay, I'll focus.
And here I have expected Tubby to describe an epic psychic battle happening.
Oh, yeah. He like tries to put like when he is aware people are watching him, like it pushes him to like do better. It's like, oh, I can't embarrass myself in front of these random strangers. I better do better.
Which probably in turn makes Ryda try to focus harder.
Oh yeah. When they see Ralph, paying more attention and trying harder, Ryda's like, okay, great. Now I can try harder.
I can stop holding back so much.
Okay. So, Ryda and Ralph, I want you each to roll me 3 dice.
Okey-doke. Yeah, that looks
Best
like
roll.
custom dice.
Oh, tie.
Ah. Well, I was looking for 6s. I was using them as chance dice.
Oh.
Because you two are focusing a lot harder, and normally you would only get 1 pip a day. And I decided
Hey.
to see if y'all earned another pip. So, Ryda, you have earned the last pip.
Yes. Do I finally get it?
You may have the sole item in my DM bag.
I have finally obtained the move Echo Chamber.
Yes, Ryda has finally created a melt move.
Nice. Which veiled move was that?
Echo Chamber.
Echo Chamber. And that is a combination of... Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Wait, when did this card get made?
Psychic and Double Team.
Did I make this, or did somebody
I
else
made
make? Oh, you made. I'm so used to making the cards. I'm just like had a brain break moment because like when did I do this?
I made it a while back, and also like you were super burdened with all sorts of things. I was not going to make you create another card. I've been trying to at least pick up that slack when I can. I still need to make the alternate version for Brooke's Ice Gun card, but I don't have the template for the thing.
I don't know if I have I don't think I have the template for Ice Gun still, but I can give you the original. Well, the original image isn't that helpful. So what's called? Wait, sorry. What was Echo Chamber a mix of again?
It's
Psychic and Double Team.
Ah, okay.
yes.
And let's see. Have to cover these. Okay. Copies all physical moves, so like you just get double attacks.
Yes.
It copies the physical move exactly.
But only
So-
physical moves. So
Yes, only physical moves, which is part of the restriction on it.
Mhm.
And because this is very powerful, Ryda can only use this once per dungeon or traversal zone.
that's fair.
So, The way it works is it's activated using an accuracy roll. It reduces the accuracy on all of Ryda's attacks by half, even the non-physical ones. But every time Ryda uses a physical move, which they can make any of their non-physical moves physical with their weapon, because Ryda is ridiculous like this, Echo Chamber copies the results of accuracy and damage rolls, and it applies them again.
Yes. Essentially, they make a copy that is sort of lagging behind by a few seconds, so when they attack, the copy then, does exactly the same attack, just delayed.
I like that. That's kind of neat.
That's a cool idea.
It's very useful. The other thing is, the copied moves still function like regular moves, so they can also be evaded or clashed, but that's extra evasions or clashes that need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Ryda is setting up to effectively buff themselves in the party and then debuff enemies into destruction.
Mhm. Same roll results. So if I rolled like a 3 for damage, the Echo Chamber effect would also automatically have the 3 damage applied. I wouldn't reroll.
Yes, and it also shares the accuracy roll as well. So unfortunately, with the way Echo, well, fortunately for balance reasons, unfortunately for player reasons, if for instance Ryda rolls a 1 on an accuracy roll, the Echo also has a 1 on that accuracy roll.
Yep.
I think.
But hey, it burns their actions, so.
Yep. Which is something nobody else does.
Oh no, I just realized Ralph actually doesn't either. I thought I was the only one without meld moves. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't have any yet.
I mean, I'm close to one, but.
There's that idea I have for the combination move where like Ralph's sucked into the darkness and it's like really dark, and then like the dark pulse attacks the thing, and then when Ralph comes out of the dark, he's about 200 meters above the target, and he falls on him. We'd call it Shadow Drop.
Well, that's not a meld move. That's a combo move. Though I do think combo moves are cool too. Though we should do one of those at some point.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would call that Shadow Drop. Like whatever we're fighting, like it's like unnaturally dark, and then it ends. Now it's just regular dark, and the shadow's getting bigger. Oh no!
I honestly already know how combo moves could work. It could just be a card, and honestly, all you would have to say is just that both of those characters involved in the combo move, whoever has their turn first and wants to do it, holds their turn. Basically, it just does nothing that turn to prep for the other player to do it.
Yeah, that's basically how we've been doing team attacks.
Yeah.
It's just that having combo move cards would make it easier to decide.
It would be. Tucker is trying to get staple moves, and then maybe meld move, because he was working on whatever you would call Firefang and Dark Pulse, which was basically going to be effectively actually, what the hell was that supposed to be? Firefang Dark Pulse, because he has the most pips on that meld move.
Flamethrower?
No, that was Firefang Hal was trying to do a makeshift flamethrower.
I'm not quite sure I remember, because you haven't talked to me terribly much about it since.
Yeah, I forget what I was doing with that, actually. I'll have to think about it again. At some point.
That's okay. That said, everybody at the training area is treated to quite the epic psychic battle between Ryda and Ralph as they train, with Ryda creating duplicates that fire off attacks just a hair after they do, which Ralph is doing a fairly excellent job of blocking with various furniture and training gear, even though Ralph still is not necessarily quote-unquote victorious. Victorious in air quotes because, well, you're not trying to really beat each other.
Yeah.
Knowing...
It's like, 2 small attacks. I'll throw something one big in between them, and like that's for the big tag dummies or something.
You will fire bullets at me. I throw a sofa at you.
It's
More or
soft.
less,
The
yeah.
sofa won't hurt. It's soft. No.
Why do we have so many?
Mhm.
But
Well,
I digress.
I digress too. I was gonna say that I imagine we would be watching them have their little psychic battle before interrupting them.
Yes.
I like to imagine you guys show up, like, both me and Ralph freeze frame as we're, like, about to throw something at each other, and we just look over like, oh, hey, guys!
Everything in the room drops.
Clatter, clatter.
One of the Pokemon sipping an orange juice box just holds out their hand. The other Pokemon just slides them 5 Poke and looks disgruntled.
Yes.
No, don't let us interrupt.
Ryder straightens up. We were just finishing.
Yeah, we super fun.
Well, Brooke's taking a slightly laid-back approach. Tucker would probably just express,
So, guys, we actually have a new mission.
Brooke will let Tucker explain.
that's true. I mean, Tucker did have the first-hand conversation, so Tucker will recap everything he told Brooke. Not saying the same things as he told Brooke about how, 1, they're going to get paid for this, and 2, this might be good for the Pioneering Club as well.
When you say it's me who needs your help, I wonder if you would accept paying us in the form of one all-you-can-eat buffet fun.
Tucker ponders that for a moment and then kind of casually, kind of just like shyly expresses,
Well, the maid cafe isn't really designed for buffets per se.
Yeah,
Maybe
but they're
he'd make an
so
exception.
good. Those tiny muffin things and the little cookies I got last time. Gosh, if I could just eat a bucket of those, that would be so amazing.
Well, once the chef's back in town, maybe.
Feel free to negotiate with your own cut.
Yes, I would much prefer actual currency.
Tucker nods as well.
Yeah, I've been a little lacking in money.
Oh, yeah.
Who's actually the poorest
Fair
right now?
enough.
Everybody's
Fair enough,
poor.
We have been, fair enough. We have been spending a whole lot of it, not earning a whole lot of it.
Actually, it makes
I
sense.
never
Ralph
found
doesn't care about
dollars.
money. Ralph doesn't care about money because he actually has some.
a little bit, I guess.
I mean, more than the rest of us. You're loaded compared to the rest of us.
Lizard still has $200.
That's
I just haven't updated Lizard. I also don't know what Lizard may have been spending their money on. So I've just left that alone.
Cute dates with
a,
Riley.
a nice accessory for Riley.
Just cute dates and accessories with Riley. And also maybe, like, food for Poff and Laddie, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But also, I'm sorry, I just imagine Ralph with a big KFC bucket, but it's full of, like, the Bodico Danish butter cookies.
Oh, those are good. Butter cookies are a nice delight. They're simple and nice. I like them.
They're seasonal and they're delicious, and I love them, and they go away too fast.
Thanks for reminding me. I should definitely try to get some during this Christmas season. Thanks for the thought.
They just appeared in my store, is why I thought about it.
Ah. Reef remains. Nobody in the party bothers to haggle prices or rewards. That's why Tucker made sure that V would pay them. And I'd like to note that I know it's not exactly conducive to the docile nature, per se, but I do like it when Tucker displays a bit of impishness and actually can be a little bit good with his words.
To be fair, you were very subtle about it.
That's the docileness coming in. He doesn't want to be impolite, but he does want to try to get something. Sometimes.
Just because you're docile doesn't mean you're a pushover.
Exactly. Also, money is important, and I mean, Tucker could do good things with having some money, and he also knows that the restaurant, the cafe is doing very well, which he'll also explain to the party. By the way, it is doing very well, so he knows that V can spare some.
Yes.
V can definitely spare some, even if they don't like.
Okay,
admitting.
guys, here's the plan. Whatever he offers us, we add 20% and say final offer.
But by the way, Ryder and Ralph, you noticed that Brooke has a new coat.
Huh? As I finally look over and notice, oh yeah, looking sharp.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, looking sharp is of utmost importance, I think, anyway.
Jocelyn showed me a cool magic shop out in the ocean.
Ooh, magic shop.
Tucker
That
also
sounds
looks
like
curious.
fun.
Yeah, the word magic, he's like, oh.
Intriguing.
I even got my diamond charged. And he'll show that off a little bit.
It is shiny and radiates cold.
He'll also pull out the lamp and hand it to Ryder. I also found this.
Ryder will inspect the lamp.
You inspect the lamp. It looks like one of those multi-paned European-style hand lamps, though not necessarily entirely metal and glass in construction, except instead of a candle inside, there are multiple glowy yellow orbs. Because I think Brooke still got the yellow one, if I remember
Yeah, it
right.
was just yellow.
But as you inspect it, the orbs all turn and look at you with their slitted pupils.
Ryder just sort of tilts their head. Fascinating.
It's supposed to
Are
make
there
it
more
easier to-
things as... Sorry.
Brooke will explain that it's supposed to make it easier to find people, apparently.
Oh, that's useful.
But it also makes you easier to find, since it doesn't turn off.
I guess that's why we have bags. I guess it would still glow, sort of. It's creepy, though.
Tucker doesn't seem bothered by it, but he does call it creepy.
I thought you might enjoy it, but I can show you guys the shop later.
That would be appreciated.
There's a very subtle shlick sound whenever the eyes turn to look at whoever's talking.
That said, I also have another mission. The shop owner seems to have an unwelcome guest hanging out at the shop. And he gave us these to help encourage it to leave. And he'll show them the water-breathing talismans.
It's important to ask this question: is he showing or handing?
He's gonna hand it to them, but
Okay.
also make it clear that we'll have to return it.
Okay.
Ryder just looks it over. For what purpose do these serve?
They'll let you breathe underwater, but don't put it on until you have to.
Understood.
Tucker kind of tilts his head.
Why do we only put it on when we have to?
Well, if you can breathe water, you can't breathe air anymore.
Fair enough. You know, if you've got gills and you've got lungs, and if you got lungs and you don't need gills.
Tucker does go a little wide-eyed at that. He was about to slip it on his head because he doesn't exactly have hands to hold things. He nods kind of quietly.
Oh, so So is it like limited time, or is this like a permanent like ability that we've just unlocked?
We have to return it when we're done.
Oh, I want the power to go underwater whenever I want.
Well, maybe ask them if they'll sell it to you. They are a shopkeeper, after all.
What an interesting item. I haven't done too much swimming in this body, but I think I can doggy paddle around alright. How deep do we have to go?
Brooke kind of thinks. He didn't say.
Oh, okay.
Tucker isn't exactly afraid of underwater, but it makes him a little unnerved.
Do we know exactly what our objective looks like?
I don't remember if they told us.
Karserus did not tell you what they were. They sort of assumed that you saw them on the way in, and you kind of did.
Yeah.
You saw in the dark sort of glowy eyes and some dark shapes lurking just beyond your vision.
Not specifically, but I think we'll know it when we see it.
Tucker kind of nods and,
Well, this'll be new. I'm interested to try it, though. As long as the amulet works right.
Indeed.
We've got
When
plenty
would
of
you
time.
like?
Oh,
I was just
sorry.
about to ask, when would you want to do it?
We've got plenty of time over the week, so whenever you guys feel like taking a swim, let me know. Especially if we're going to do the V quest on the way home.
I could barely hear you, Tubby.
I was saying, oh man, that when he said whenever you guys want to go first, I'm like, hey, Sprout said something. Not gonna lie, that sounds fun. Like, see, I want to see the magic shot.
Tucker kind of nods to that. It does sound like an interesting place.
Well, I guess we could do it any time. It doesn't sound too hard to just take out a troublemaker, right? Especially if they're just in the open water.
Well, I know. Remember the last time we had to take care of a troublemaker, we had to take halfway across the continent and climb a mountain.
I hope they don't go in a mystery dungeon.
Well, thankfully, our objective is just get them away from the shop, so if they leave, then that's mission accomplished.
I wonder why they're bothering this shop.
If the task is as such, then perhaps we should get it out of the way sooner rather than later. Unless we have other things to do.
Yeah, I'll let you guys kind of decide, because I have nothing left to do, but if you guys want to do stuff.
Sounds like
Yeah,
a
this
fairly
is out of
straightforward
character.
mission. Yeah, that's fair. Tucker would nod to Rita.
Well, I need to get my swimming legs, but after practicing a little bit, I think it'd be good to get it out of the way, yeah?
We do have a water arena to practice in.
That's true. Though one would assume the general coastline around Sea Spray is a fairly safe place too, aside from, well, down near the shop, I suppose. We're just having a lurker visitor.
Yeah, you all can practice swimming wherever you like.
How deep is the water arena, anyways? Swimming pool, like public swimming pool depths, or?
That's a good way to put it, except, like, it gets deeper and further out, because there are some battles that are best fought in just water.
Yeah. Again, like a public swimming pool, it tends to have multiple depths as you go out from one side to the other. And get quite
I think
deep.
it's just connected to a beach, though.
Oh, that's right.
It's literally just a stretch of beach that has been roped fence / netted off.
With little buoys or something. Yeah, makes sense.
Jocelyn mentioned net as well, so
Ah,
you can't get in from the outside.
cordoned off.
Yep.
Well, what does Ralph have to say?
Yeah, Ralph's eager. Like, he's excited. Just kind of trying to take in the details, like nodding.
Ralph's the only one with money to actually probably buy things still. So
Hey, you could bargain. Maybe do a favor for a thing.
true.
Actually, I don't think Ralph has 100 poke on him at the moment. Like,
Does he
just
not?
under.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right. He does it. He has 97. Huh?
Damn. And maybe I'll
Those-
spot Ralph some money.
Y'all are poor. Yeah.
No harm in a little window shopping.
Hmm.
True.
Y'all are poor because I keep forgetting to pay you.
We need to
Oh.
ask Pango Django for a raise.
Yes,
Tucker
Char-
will actually ask Brooke real fast before they do anything else.
Actually, that lamp. Can I see it for a second?
Brooke will hand it over. Sure.
Tucker will set it in front of himself because he doesn't exactly have lamp holding paws. He will, without really explaining, he's just going to casually just create a very minor dark pulse to see if he can obscure its light since it can't be turned off normally. He wants to see what happens when the spooky lantern is shrouded by his dark pulse.
Okay, go ahead and roll for Dark Pulse.
Okay.
That's a lot of dark pulse.
Oh my goodness. Also some non-successes.
That's pretty typical for Tucker doing attack rolls.
Let's see. Wow. Alright.
Entire lack of doom.
Very much an entire lack of doom. So you manage to fill the lantern with darkness. It now sheds no light and cannot currently see.
Okay. Tucker holds that for a second in concentration before letting the dark pulse naturally dissipate.
It drains, kind of like liquid, out of the lamp.
Okay. I just wanted to see if I could, well, turn it off in a way. Looks like I can, if we need to.
May I attempt something as well?
Also, Tucker does add to that statement as he looks at the eyes looking at him.
Also, sorry, Mr. Lamp, if that was, weird for you. Is this alive?
Tucker just realizes he had never asked that question. So he just directs that to Brooke. Sorry to
It's
interrupt.
Kind of.
blink for the first time in a while.
Book kind of shrugs. You'd know better than I would, honestly.
Oh no. Sorry, let's have Ryda. Sorry, Ryda, go ahead. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
Brooke
interrupt.
will gesture towards it at Ryda.
Ryda is going to take a few steps in front of the lamp, just sort of stepping left and right, then moving to in front of it and shining the lens so that way the light goes through it to see if it shows the footprints, if the light shines through the lens.
Oh,
It does. The
Oh, that's
lamp
cool.
functionally has sight.
Huh.
Give the eye lamp some glasses.
Interesting.
We can put a lens on it, so then it'll show us footprints.
If only you had a way to turn that small lens into some panes for the lantern.
Maybe when I get my alchemy stuff, but until then...
Well, we know who to talk to about that now.
Can I do one more lamp experiment? Tucker got an idea because of what Brooke said. Lamp.
Okay.
When Brooke said, "You know better than I do," Tucker would blink and, like do a little staring contest with the lamp as he uses a little bit of, well, I guess would it be empathy or sympathy? That would be better here. So basically, detect life effectively. What do you think?
So, I'm not going to make you roll.
Okay.
Because while your eyes are able to detect animating energy in this thing,
Mhm.
so your gaze kind of registers it like it's alive,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it's alive.
Okay.
It is animate, but it is weird.
So if he does an
Okay.
emotional reach out, there's something to reach out to.
Nope.
Okay.
This would contrast to like looking at a ghost the same way. It would still be alive technically, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah, yeah, obviously, because we did that with
The energy is wiggly.
Wiggly.
I think of it sort of like sensing the life of a plant. Like, yeah, you can sense the life of it, but it's like you're not getting really emotions or feeling from looking at a flower, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, emotions don't necessarily are the same exactly the same as detecting life, but it does kind of follow the same thoroughfare. For instance, Mesmegius, which was a ghost type, Tucker used, what was it? I think it was a sympathy in that situation, which definitely did work because they were a sentient creature, even if they were dead. Alive, but not alive. What is alive? I don't know. But yes, Tucker will communicate to the rest of the party.
Okay, I don't think it's actually alive. It just reacts, I guess.
Okay, so like fire.
That's not a bad analogy.
Yeah, I guess so. If fire had eyes. That'd be weird.
Fire was eyes.
If it could think, it'd be like fire eyes. I want to be fire eyes. Make me fire eyes. I will burn.
See, Tucker was just curious about this because
he has the personality of zeal.
Oh no. Tucker just really wanted to know this because he needed to know if he needed to be polite to the lamp or not.
Beerus would assert that you should always be polite to them.
Yes, say please and thank you to the lamp whenever using it. Should we name the lamp?
The lamp is named Lamp.
You should call it Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff the lamp.
Oh, goodness. At least there's no way this will potentially become an Eldritch Horror Chandelure.
It's good to know that it won't.
That we
I
know
completely trust you, Mr. Holy, powerful Zoltian in the sky.
I mean,
Yeah,
if we're
my
nice to it,
complete
maybe
trust.
he'll be on our side.
I always wanted an Eldritch Horror on my side.
Insert cosmic horror screaming noises.
But yeah, we should really decide what we're actually going to do.
Yes.
Tucker's down for the water mission. It sounds fairly straightforward.
Yeah, water
Mhm.
mission sounds good.
Yeah. The alternative would be the R&R mission.
The R&R mission?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry, when you say R&R, I think rest and relaxation. I keep forgetting that
Yeah, I
R&R
know.
is right and Ralph.
I will note
yeah.
that mission can always involve the rest of the team if they bother to tell the rest of the team.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. I know. but that is up to the both of them.
Of course.
So, if you all want to do that mission, first order of business is people need to stretch and or get water while I search for an appropriate dungeon too.
So we need to get water
Oh,
before we
yeah.
get water? Gotcha.
I could use a drink.
Good to stretch and crack my back.
See, the fortunate thing is you don't have to tell me that because I've been drinking things anyways. Admittedly, not a whole ton of water. I was drinking soda, but I have water too.
Also, thank you very much for speaking as much as you have today, Kyrio. It's always appreciated. You have
It is a
lovely
pleasure.
voice.
It is a pleasure to have
Mhm.
Kyrio's talk.
Yeah, I can't believe that dig was good at Ralph. That's better than what Ralph does. Apparently, where V told Tucker that he's gotten in the habit of like binging tea, and Tucker comments, "Oh, it's better than what Ralph does."
So Tucker's not going to share that little offhand statement about Ralph to Ralph,
Yeah.
by the way.
I would imagine not.
Tucker might have slightly impolite things to say about people, but he's probably not going to share them with them directly. Tucker's not mean, but he might occasionally be frank. Partially, it's the whole doesn't have a completely developed filter. That's part of the reason. Also, I'm just going to save the table. I randomly feel like I should. 6 cents telling me I should save the table means I should save the table. Always save out a picture. There we go.
Goodness, we have so many dungeon tunes.
Thanks, I don't use it very much, to be honest. What, your voice? Or...
Yes, my voice.
But your voice is good, you should use it, bro.
Oh,
You always have a pleasant tone to your voice. I'll just put it that way.
Oh,
I'm glad you like it.
well, I like it too. You
It's a
have
friend
lovely
voice. That's a friend voice.
You are friend-shaped and friend-sounded.
I'm just very friendly.
Friendly
Oh.
friends.
Dungeon 1, number 37,
Okay.
which is the most appropriate thing. I wish I'd remembered that that was there before.
Let's see. That's one of the older songs. Let's see what we got. Dungeons 1 means older song. Dungeon 2 means middle old song. Dungeons 3 means fairly newer, like newer added song. I still need to talk to you actually about some more new music at some point. Whenever you have
More
time.
music.
There's never such a thing as too much music. It's just a matter of, listen, not everything's going to be used. The idea is just to have a nice library to choose from. You're not going to read every book in the library. That'd be insane, you know? But, so he says 137, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ah, yes. This is a chill one. I like this one.
Seems like meditation music.
It could.
Well, let me know when y'all are ready.
I'm good.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. It means we're just waiting for Tubby to come back with water and our from stretching.
This is fair.
Audience should get water and stretch too.
Yes. I used to have a water bot that said it told everybody to hydrate, but it stopped existing after a while.
Oh no, I wonder what happened to it.
I didn't add it in the first place. Bots just kind of show up, and sometimes it's like, oh, that's useful, and then it just disappears, and it's like, oh, I guess it's gone. I don't know what causes them to exist. I guess they're usually kind of helpful, though. Now we need art of Tucker doggy paddling through the water. He hasn't even gone in the water yet. He already went. To be fair though, that's always cute. Have you seen a dog when they dive? Like say they have a ball or something at the bottom of the pool and they have to dive for it. They have a cool little twist dive. I know how they do it now. Little swirly dive.
Yes, I'm familiar.
And fortunately, dogs just inherently know how to... Actually, a lot of animals just inherently know how to swim. It's where the humans have to learn. Oh yeah, fair. Like, that's the start of, like, some carpal tunnel or similar, like, muscle strain, tendon strain, so be careful. I've had that sort of strain as well, just doing my job, so I know when to take breaks and stretch, which I'm doing right now, as you brought it up. Wibble wobble your hands and wrists around like you're casting a spell. That's a good way to stretch them.
It just reminds me of this VR game that I like to play on occasion. I think it's called Broken Edge. It's a sword fighting game where it's basically a sword dueling game, and there's like different classes and stuff. And the one I like to play is this one that has 2 scimitars, and essentially you want to you strike one at a time and try to break the other person's blade, and then after you break it, then you attack them. But to charge up your blade, you have to move it in specific motions. And for the scimitar one, you have to sort of do this blade dance where you're constantly twisting and flipping the blades around.
Ooh.
It's actually pretty fun.
Definitely try not to do that motion too fast. You might hurt your wrist.
Oh yeah, no, you have to do it slow.
You have to literally do sword stance.
Unless you're like really limbered up, and then I guess you can do it faster. But that's pretty cool, actually. I like that idea for VR.
But yes, Tubby's back.
All right.
That's the way you do it, like Burr.
At some point, I'll get a VR headset.
It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it.
Well, honestly, not to put any pressure on Kyrio, but Kyrio is working on rigging a 3D model that was made for me that wasn't rigged properly. Once that's ready, I basically have no excuse not to get a VR headset at that point. So it's probably what I'm mostly waiting on. Though, admittedly, I will probably wait a little bit to like build funds for it too, because funds have been a little all over the place, and yeah. Though VR headsets are getting cheaper, right? So it's a little easier now.
Yeah,
I would say go for a Quest 2.
Quest 2?
I use a Quest 2.
I do appreciate the advice. I've literally never touched VR, so I have no idea what to get. So Quest 2, all right.
Yeah.
That's a solid
Quest 2, and it's only... I got it in 2020, and it's only now kind of starting to be in a little bit rough shape 3 years later, which is pretty good.
Holds up pretty good. If you've been using it a lot in something involving motion,
I use it all the fucking time.
So Meta Quest 2, is that what you guys were talking about?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Looks like it's okay.
And
so
it's
it
not
looks
the
like
headset itself that's acting up. I feel like the battery doesn't hold a charge quite as good anymore, and like the controllers have stick drift. But other than that, it like works completely fine compared to even when I got it, 3 years ago.
That sounds pretty good.
Everybody's here.
Yeah.
Tubby, do you know what song we're using?
Oh yeah, he may have missed that. We switched to
I have not.
Dungeons 137.
It's very calm music right now.
Chill sea music.
So, to slightly speed things along, because I know the session is coming toward an end.
That's fair.
Brooke.
Yeah.
How would you lead your friends down the ocean ramp, I suppose is the best way I can put it. The ocean ramp side of Sea Spray.
How would I lead them?
Yeah. How would you lead them down towards the Ebbing Tide shop? Would you just have them swim there with you, or are you going to take a scenic route.
Oh yeah, well,
through the
you're the
water.
only one that knows where it is, so that's why you're being asked.
I'd probably take the same route Jocelyn showed me.
Okay.
Mostly so they can get their water legs into and get used to the talisman.
Probably a good plan. Because almost immediately after each of you puts on the talisman, you cannot breathe air. So you have to dive.
Tucker, being aware of this, actually will just doggy paddle out for a bit, and then like just kind of dip his head under the water, kind of looking around, doing little test dives before he puts the amulet on, just to kind of get used to the water, because he hasn't really done swimming in a while. Since he transformed, hasn't really done proper swimming.
It's a very immediate effect too. Probably more immediate than Burke may have expected to happen. So if one of you is above water in any capacity while still breathing in any way, putting it on, there's kind of that fish out of water moment until you dive under.
Wait, hold on. Small important question. What about our bags? Are they waterproof?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guild bags of all kinds are
I figured they
considered
probably
waterproof.
would be. So
Yeah, Brooke's been in and out of the water with it all the time.
yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, Tucker will dot it once he's done a few little test dives to see how he wants to swim. And he will probably panic immediately because he doesn't realize how quickly the effect is, and dive when he realizes that.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ralph wades out into the water, puts it on, and just flops forward.
That's fair.
Why did I imagined the way that Ralph would have done it is just flop into the water, breathe water that way until you can dive. Why? Same brain cell.
Drowned man technique. Good position.
I imagine Ryder taking a deep breath, putting on the necklace, and then just dipping straight down.
Well, at least there is plenty enough time, and at least in the day, since Brooke is going to have to be patient with some of you getting your sea legs and figuring out how to swim with your bodies. Probably the least of which is Ryda, because Ryda can probably just psychic propel themselves.
Fairly aerodynamic.
My thought was just use the orb and have that psychic, so it looks like they have like one of those water jet things in Subnautica.
Oh, the little
It's like carrying a shell underwater in Mario.
Though that is to say, Ralph is probably also capable of psychic propelling himself in the water if he wants.
God, that sounds terrifying. But
That
yeah.
sounds important. I feel like he would maybe have, like, I don't know what his buoyancy would be like otherwise. Like, would it be hard to swim? I mean, granted, he doesn't have the.
I mean, whales swim just fine.
I mean, he doesn't have the standard Snorlax build, so he's definitely more built for swimming than like a normal Snorlax.
Yeah. I mean, Snorlax can learn surf. That is how buoyant they are.
True.
Which that would be the ultimate way to go across the ocean. Like you could like, oh crap. You could like go across the ocean and like not even get wet. You'd just be relaxing on a soft tummy, sunbathing on your way to Cinnabar Island.
Tribal Hunter flashbacks.
What is it? Yes. Quote Derek from Disenchanted. Quick, in an emergency, my body can be used as a flotation device.
So Tucker's fluffy fur is actually gonna help him sink a little bit because he's getting waterlogged. So he's gonna look kind of different while he's underwater.
So in order of most amount of effort needed to swim to least amount of effort needed to swim, Tucker probably has to make the most effort. And Ryda has to make the least effort. And the only thing Ralph has to fight against is buoyancy.
Yeah.
So Tucker's doggy paddle, it's a safe, reliable, if not exactly fast kind of paddle, the doggy paddle. Also, he is still fat, it's worth remembering, so his belly can kind of wobble in the way of the paddling a little bit. So that's probably slowing him down a little bit. He's not like super glacially slow, but yeah, he's probably going to be the slowest out of the four of them.
Seeing Tucker struggling a bit, Ryder's gonna tie the rope around Tucker to sort of help pull him through the water.
That's fair. Tucker will open his mouth to try to say, "Oh, thanks," but it's debatable if he can speak or not in the situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as they're underwater, Ralph's gonna try and talk. Like, so you think we can
water
talk
carries
so while we're
sound
under
much
here?
easier than air.
What's that?
Water can carry sound much easier than air.
Oh, it
Actually.
can? Oh. I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Also, yes, Ralph, you can talk immediately.
That's cool.
There's a bit of a bubbly warble to it whenever any of you talks, but, you know.
Honestly, tethering everybody together probably isn't a bad idea.
The rope, she is useful.
Haha!
I see Ralph just like making some noises, blah blah blah, and hearing the wobble. Like,
Whale Merv swims by, squinting at Ralph. How insulting! And just swims away.
God, I got the dialect wrong. I might have been paraphrasing of Kyrio. That was probably more insulting now that I think about it.
But yeah, if Ryder wants to tether everyone together with a rope, go for it. You have the rope.
Yeah. They'll do that.
Everyone is now tethered together within 50 feet of each other. Probably less, because needing to tie
Oh, wait,
people.
Mr. Wilmer, I need to ask you something.
Oh god, no.
I'm kidding,
No.
I'm kidding.
Fortunately, you're roped and you can't chase after him. But honestly, I like the idea though that they're roped for sort of like for safety, but like we still have enough loose rope where we can still move around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, I'm kidding.
Tucker will continue to doggy paddle, even as he's helped along by the other propulsion methods that they all have.
Being tied together also means that Brooke has an easier time keeping track of all of you, even if you happen to flounder a bit with swimming here and there. But once you guys have your sea legs, limbs, paws, etc., and Brooke leads you down towards the dark, you realize that this shop is a bit far from the other places that are here, and all the other buildings under the water, they're very colorful. It's very much like a living reef. And I would assume that Brooke, unless they wanted to keep it to themselves, does point out the sushi place.
Oh yeah, he's giving him a tour.
Tucker would be very fascinated by this little underwater city portion.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of. It's like if you didn't want to hang out with someone and you were water, you just like come down here and they couldn't follow you.
I'm pretty sure, like, for every water type does that.
You swim past one of the buildings that has one of those air pockets with a window, and you see there's a Persian there with a fancy gold mask on that's currently eating. It's some sort of fine dining establishment. So clearly there are buildings down here that connect to the surface in some capacity.
Noted.
But as you go down towards the darker waters, towards the bottom of the ramp, you do eventually see the ebbing tide. Its conch shell entryway with the large spikes and the ghostly swaying talismans of fishbone, dead coral, and seaweed inscribed with their glowing runes. Wards, the shopkeeper had called them previously. Everyone, please make me an insight survival alert.
Okay.
Ryder's not that great at this.
Tucker has developed his specialties, so he's good at anything. It's not really good. Yay.
Tucker's
You
also
get
good
it.
at seeing in the dark, so
Wait, what was that?
Tucker's
Oh.
also good at seeing in the dark.
That's true. Oh, actually, does his vision do anything weird underwater? Didn't bring that up.
No weirder than the surface, interestingly. But because of the way that water works in the 3D space of it, as opposed to standing on the ground, there's just sort of this vastness of nothing out in one direction.
Ooh. That feels very ominous.
It probably is super ominous. Probably looks a bit more ominous to you than the rest on the way down, in spite of things. It's just sort of this gradient from light to darker and darker gray into black as you've descended out when you look out in the direction of the open ocean.
Ooh. Also, a small aside, with his fur all weighed down with water, and obviously his fur now changing its kind of shape in some certain places like that, I'm just going to reference an old picture because I realized he's probably having a shaggier dog look, kind of like this, where the hair is in front of his face now. So, just wanted to bring that up.
My assumption was like because water, it's all swaying and stuff because you have longer fur.
Oh, absolutely, it's doing that too. But he probably has some in his face now.
Tucker loaf.
Tucker loaf. Dark puffball, yeah. So, Rhina and Brooke, you were able to spot in the dark, just sort of a ways away in the open water, there's some dark shapes out there, as well as the occasional flickering gleam of glowing yellow eyes, just sort of watching when you get closer to the shop, which we have art of. I'm not sure. Oh, right, it's super tall, which is why we don't have it up right now.
I can bring it back if you like.
Only if the others want a reference point for what the shop looks like. We had it last session.
We did.
Tucker, what you see in the dark is... it's strange. There's a sort of... there are a pair of flickering, floating life forces that are out there. That are sort of fading in and out, and each time they fade in, they've moved a little bit. That are off in the direction of stronger life forces that are both... they glow a certain eldritch purple color with their life force. One is larger, and it seems to be just sort of hovering near, just at a constant distance, while the other is a bit more sinuous and sort of moves around the larger one.
Huh. So there's two that are kind of hanging out next to each other, but definitely two different forces.
And Ralph, against all odds, somehow you must have a second eyelid or something, because you can see in the dark. You can't see exactly what Tucker does, but you do see... you can make out a sinuous shape as well as a large, bulky one in the dark. And you think you can see something that mildly glows, but it sort of flickers in and out, so you're not sure if it's a trick of the light or if it could be something else.
Well, Tucker will communicate, given that there's less general water Pokemon activity in this area too, right? Is it a little less busy than the other areas we've just
Very
passed?
much so.
Okay. Then Tucker will call out the notable life forces, so to speak, that he can see out there. And then there seems to be a couple of them. Will Ralph be sharing what he sees?
Doesn't seem particularly important. He sees like a big shape in the distance, so he...
That's fair.
He's not even sure what it is. He's just kind of looking around.
Though Tucker will, after noting that, look at the... since they're near the shop now, right? He will note it and ask Brooke,
Is that the shop?
She doesn't know what it looks like.
Sure is. Let's go inside and maybe ask for more details.
Good
Very
nods.
well.
Also, Ralph, in spite of your size, you can definitely fit inside that shop.
Oh, of course I can. It's gotta be big enough for whalelords to stop there.
Not that big, but I mean, look, maybe if you squeeze them and they were like, I don't know, giant hot dogs that could squish and contort, but I don't feel like whalelords are like that.
I don't know why that was so funny to me. Like, I'm just picturing you describing whalelords, and you're like, yeah, whalelords, giant hot dogs, same thing, like,
They're the hot dogs of the sea.
yeah, I guess so.
I
love that statement.
That would be a pretty big hot dog.
Kind of bun would fit that.
Yeah, it's mostly air.
The float whale.
It is worth considering. Can they deflate somewhat? Like, I don't know.
Sure. Ralph, remind me again. In your human life, didn't you used to live near the shore?
Yes.
Okay.
I grew up on a shoreline in Holland.
You also helped with Bill's system. So,
Yes.
give me a smart logic will.
Good comment from Fair right there. Hot dog. Why are my ears burning? All right, so you are doing a recollection, are you? Let's see what you got. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a few dice.
Ralph has
Oh my.
the most. Yep.
That was a lot of sixes.
So, Ralph, there's a couple of sinuous Pokemon, but the silhouette of the bulky one definitely seems familiar. It's on the tip of your tongue, but you remember at least vaguely having seen a Pokemon like it at least once while you were working on the system.
As I try to recall, let's see. I would
It's-
have been in Kanto at the time.
It starts
Maybe
with a
it could
C,
be-
and it doesn't come from Kanto.
Yeah, he likes and sees he's trying to think.
Even as probably Brooke incidentally manages to help drag Ralph towards the shop.
Oh yeah, and as he feels himself being pulled, he's like, "Oh, right," and moves along. Or he looks around like, "Oh yeah, right, we're doing a thing."
Well, as Brooke leads you all into the shop, you come up to the very, I'm just gonna call it spooky and somewhat cluttered space of the Ebbing Tide shop front, as it were. Dysphoria happens to be on the table again, pretending to be a crystal thing, because they're not an orb.
It is going to be certain types of Pokemon because you can just be like, I don't feel like socializing today. I'm just going to pretend to be the rock that I look like. like
They crack open one eye.
Yeah, keep going.
Does Ralph notice this?
I don't know. Well, if it was described, I assume. If I do notice, I ask it how it's doing.
Unless Brooke told us, I think we wouldn't recognize it as a Pokemon.
Well, it does crack open an eye.
Well,
But
that's
also,
true.
Kyrio is typing, so I'm waiting.
Let's see. That's fair, Kyrio.
Mhm.
That is totally fair. I still appreciate how much you've used your voice today with us.
Mhm.
Always appreciate it.
Yeah, even if it's just for part of a session, it really does help the session like flow better, I think, when you can do it. Brooke will let everyone soak in the atmosphere.
Indeed. There's all
Oh.
sorts of baubles, trinkets, and curios around. The list is in our little group chat, but I
We'll
can
look
go through the
around.
description again, but that may take a
Yeah.
minute.
Looking around like, oh, there's who's it's and what's its galore, eh?
This
No,
person
like, I haven't
certainly
heard
has
that.
thingamabobs plenty.
Like, I haven't heard that before. Dysphoria actually stands up, shaking a little bit of the stiffness off. Did you already take care of the problem? That was fast.
I mean, we're good, but we're not that good. And we are that good, just, yeah. This is why I don't do talking.
I believe you do plenty of talking, Ralph. Maybe too much.
Not quite yet, Brooke says. Thought I'd show my team the shop, though. Oh, more prospective customers. Mistress will be happy. When they get back. I think they're sleeping now, so I'm just watching the shop. Oh god, I'm giving them a lizard voice. No, they're not lizard.
Cold-blooded does not mean ice type.
Lizard isn't cold-blooded. What are you talking about?
That's true. They are fiery.
Well, in which case, prospective customers, welcome to the Ebbing Tide. Be careful of what you touch, and I'll be happy to provide an explanation for... They look around. Most things we've got? Most things we've got, they nod to themselves.
I'll wait for Brooke to say their thing before I say mine.
Tucker will extend a thank you to the little icicle guy.
While they look around, could you tell me a bit more about the target? Brooke says. Just so we know what we're looking for. Oh, right. I guess in the middle of everything, Mistress Karserus didn't exactly say what you were fighting. You probably saw them hovering around. I guess they didn't try to drive you off because they didn't think that you'd be a repeat customer. Also, Jocelyn. For some reason, I don't mess with Jocelyn.
I mean, I wouldn't mess with Dodson, would you?
True. I guess reputation for being a champion has its perks. The problem happens to be another practitioner like my mistress. Rival shop owner? Brooke asks. Not exactly. Or I guess if they would be, they're trying to take this shop from us. Not liable to happen. Not while my mistress lives. Unlives? Unlives. It's a Caracosta. I don't quite remember their name off the top of my head, but I don't think it matters. I just remember they have a weird squirmy pet and some ghosts that follow them around.
Did they state any motivations yet? I may have missed that.
Nope. Just
Okay.
that they are a practitioner, just like the Cursula.
Okay, Tucker will ask then. Big turtle. Tucker will ask.
When you say practitioner,
He sort of says it a little slowly. It's a bit of a big word.
what do you mean by that?
Practitioner of the arcane and occult arts! And just
So a wizard?
like before Ralph does that, the cauldron bubbles and boils, and the fire underneath is supposed to rise up and glow green and spooky, and then everything is back to normal. And the Bergmite gives Ralph a deadpan look. Yes, like a wizard.
Cool.
Also, Ralph, Caracosta was the thing you were thinking of. So it's one of those moments where it says Caracosta, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what it was.
Fascinating.
A+ for presentation, Brooke says with a grin. Thanks, I've been working on it. That said, they are a tough nut to crack. No pun intended.
I believe they are a turtle.
Yes. They're a tough shell to crack, how's that?
That is more accurate.
Tucker thinks for a second and expresses,
Well, if they're a wizard, and so's the shop owner here, I wonder why they have a beef.
Who knows? Mistress only started teaching me recently, so if this is a long-standing thing, I've got no idea. Could be they just don't like that the mistress is sharing their art here. Something magical people like being jealous with magical knowledge and not sharing it, or something. They attempt to shrug, but just sort of manage to hop a little bit with their forelimbs. By the way, since Brooke has less been here, the magical jewelry selection has changed. Changes every time. You could be gone 5 minutes and it would change.
Tucker kind of nods and goes like,
Kind of like a magician, never reveals their secrets.
You haven't really fought a wizard before, I don't think, Brooke says. But it might be a good idea to be prepared for anything. I wouldn't worry too much. Most of the whole magic thing is using moves in creative ways. Of course, there's actual magic. You know, like this. They gesture a forelimb at the cauldron, and then they swirl it around and make the cauldron stir itself, giggling just a little bit to themselves as they make it happen.
Ryder rolls their eyes.
I had we thought it was like, oh, yeah, it's child's play for Ryder.
Oh, I didn't know psychic abilities were magical.
Brooke looks impressed for some reason.
Maybe to be nice.
Oh, that's not psychic abilities. I'm not using anything psychic for that. I can't learn psychic.
Oh, don't.
But also,
Okay.
all of the talismans and various things here are filled with magic. I could go into a long-winded explanation about it, but everything here has a trade-off for a reason.
Oh, like this story about that magical and he can't think of the name of the animal because it doesn't exist. You know, the hand from the
The Mankey's
Creature.
Paw?
yeah, that's the one.
Clearly,
like
magic
Mankey's
is
Paw
just
there.
fairy tales and false science.
You can say that, but of course, there's things like ghost types and fairy types. You're a fairy type, aren't you?
That
Just
is
because-
true.
Just because our abilities are explained and categorized doesn't mean there's nothing mysterious about them or outside the norm.
Yeah, I think we could think of magic as just a form of energy that is a little bit harder to understand and control.
Even
See,
Tucker
he gets it.
pipes up and expresses,
Even some moves that have types that we understand don't make complete sense. It's just the Pokemon's will using it, I think, sometimes. That could be magic, too.
Besides, how do you think alchemy works?
Science.
Also that. Science and magic can be the same thing.
Speaking of which, I do have some notes here. Do you happen to have any of these items? And Ryder will show the alchemy notes.
This is over my head. As long as it works, it's fine, Brooke says. That is a very Brooke thing to say.
Tucker will respond by simply saying,
Yeah, but if it's magic, that's cool, so we should talk about it, too.
The Bergmite just sort of leans over as they shuffle to the edge of the table looking at the notes. Maybe? You'd have better luck asking for my mistress. I'm sure when they're back, they'll be happy to compare. That said, let me give you an example. They sort of hop off the table, scuttle over and up one of the cupboards, and pull out a pendant. Brooke would recognize this as one of the Gloomhunger pendants. A lot of these things are made with... I think the word is macabre? Macabre stuff. Spooky, ghouly, creepy. And that's part of it.
Oh, you mean macabre, he says halfway through.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
He's
ambience.
like macabre. He's like question mark, question mark, question mark, and like midway through the next sentence. Oh, you mean macabre?
Mistress told me that half of making something is what you make it from, and the other half is the intent when you make it. And then another half, I guess if that makes sense, is actual magic?
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that makes sense. That's usually how stuff is made. Like, half of a bat is if it's a wooden bat or a metal bat, and the other half is what you intend to hit with it, I guess. Wait. Yeah, something like that.
this explanation.
Well, I do not see it as such. It is
Brooks-
mere using objects and existing materials to create something else, and then using it however you choose.
Yeah, but intent matters. You know, like, a knife is gonna cut a piece of steak much better than, you know, a fork.
Brooke sort of starts poking at things in the shop as he stops listening. That is a wonderful thing to do. Hey, Brooke, roll a doom die.
Uh-oh.
I could go into a long-winded explanation, but let's just say boom. Brooke broke the wrong vial. There's just this explosive sound and a big cloud of purple smoke that engulfs a quarter of the shop where Brooke is. Oops.
Yeah, you can probably pay for that, don't worry.
It's fine. It was probably one of the weird goo vials anyway. Brooke, you feel wobbly and off balance.
Tucker goes over to make sure he's okay.
Anyway, well, I mean, if you're not gonna buy anything right now, that's kind of all I can give you on who you're supposed to drive away. I'm sure they're still hovering around out there. That's why I haven't left the shop, actually. I mean, I know all the wards are out there, but, you know, if I leave through the front entrance, I'm kind of afraid they're gonna get me.
Tucker actually pipes up and asks,
Have they actually attacked anyone? Or...
Whoa, I feel like I'm trying to stand up on a boat. Brooke wobbles a bit.
"Aw."
Ryder's gonna run up to Brooke.
Oh,
Tucker's already there. Like, if he needs a hand to study himself, Tucker is good support.
oh yeah. We used to have more customers who came by regularly. Mostly for the talismans. Sometimes for the goo, I don't know why.
Tucker will think for a moment and express.
So they don't just want to talk, do they? That's too bad.
Also, yes, Kyrio, the goo was the thing that happened because of Lytton, and they've been trying to get rid of it. They just had such a huge stock of it because of how big the cauldron is. But yeah, there's like an entire cabinet filled with vials of glowing green goo.
Also, Ferris said, I love how Ryda is ignoring how Brook can fire off far more water than he can feasibly store in his body. Oh, no, that's just... He just has a storage of dehydrated water. You rehydrate a whole bunch.
It's late. I can't.
Ryda's just a denier.
Ryda doesn't think their own abilities constitute magic.
Nope. They're just like, it's science, duh.
Well, we'll take care of it right away then. Brooke gives a drunken-looking salute, probably because wobbly. Hang on, I have a thing for that. Shuffles over to a drawer, pulls it open, peeks in. Nope. Hops on top of the drawer, pulls open one that's next to it and one level above. Nope. And repeats this process like 3 or 4 more times, creating a staircase of a bunch of open drawers. And then they pull out a what looks like a standard potion bottle. Just you know the ones that people use for healing potions all the time. The ones that look like an orb with a stopper.
Yeah.
Okay. Now to get down. They look over at Ralph. They're practically eye level with Ralph right now. It'll help.
Bro, okie dokie. I grabbed them. I put them on the shelf. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta put them back.
They look like they're about to say something, and then you grab them again. Thanks. And then they scuttle over and offer Brooke the potion. Sorry, I'm consuming a taquito.
That's fair.
Oh, cool. Mysterious potion. He drinks it. You are cured of your wobbliness and vertigo.
Good. For what that actually mechanically was doing.
However, after you finish the potion, you belch out an oily turquoise-colored bubble that just sort of floats.
Tucker squints at it.
See? Paid off. Oh. Yeah, much better, Brooke says, relieved. Alright, team. Let's go shuffle off a magic turtle, Brooke says.
That sounds fun. Being a pioneer is the best. I love you guys.
I love you too, Ralph.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a
Maybe we could tell that turtle stop it if we figure out why he's doing it in the first place. Are wizards mean for no reason? They have to have a reason.
I was about to say
Next time,
Pokerole
Pokerole
Scene. It is 10 here, and I know it's late for Kyrio, and people may or may not need more energy. I apologize we haven't gotten to more.
Nah, that's fine. I think we had a good
It's all right.
session. We had quite a few events. We picked up a new quest. We did all the preliminary for this current quest, so we're pretty much ready for like a battle next time. So that'll make the start of session interesting.
Hey, and I got Echo Chamber, so
Yes, and next time Ralph should acquire Psychic.
Indeed. And
Nice.
Battle or
You can have
Dungeon Run if
lots of
there is
fun.
one. Well, I assume battle. It depends on what happens. Because if you all decide that you want more than what's there, you might end up with a small dungeon.
It's a shame that Tucker doesn't quite have Thunderfang before doing an underwater fight, though that might be dangerous to him.
Maybe.
and everyone around you.
Yeah. Would be effective. You can't argue that. Just, yeah. Battle or dungeon run. Yeah, it could be a dungeon. Very true.
It is the ocean, highly conductive. Right. Everybody get 3 XP. Not only because you've been very patient these past 2 sessions, but also because I need to start catching up on how much XP I haven't given you.
Wonder what happens if one were to use Fire Fang in the water. Just like a whole bunch of steam, I suppose. Ooh, smoke street of steam. I don't know.
Depends on if you want to use it like that.
Could be. Could be. Actually, no.
It becomes
That would just
brine.
be. I was actually gonna say it's gonna become the move Scald at that point.
It's gold, not brine.
Yeah. Which is a very unusual move, since it's a water move that can burn.
Yeah, which is awesome. I always teach it to my Pelipper.
I like it. It's an interesting move. I
Scald
agree.
is a fun move. I do like it. But I do hope you all have had fun. And hopefully next time I will get to some more excitement and possibly even onto more R&R investigation time, because that has been put off for a while.
True.
Yeah, it's all right. I know we had basically an entire session of R&R, so I'm not trying to be like, "Hey, where's our, continuation?"
I can
it's
see
fine.
that. I can see that being depending on how long the let's call them magicians, wizard / practitioner situation takes to clear up. I think that it could probably go from that to R&R probably.
Yeah, but I want to get back to it because it's fun watching you two do investigation stuff, and you guys seem to enjoy it quite a bit, which makes me enjoy it quite a bit.
Also, to fair say the fire can't be hot enough to burn underwater because of physics professor, Dad. I think that for a little while I suppose, but also I think that the main thing is it needs another reagent. If I recall correctly, back in history, wasn't it Greek fire that nobody's been able to figure out the recipe for, where they could just burn ships on the water because it was just fire that could be in the water?
Yeah.
And nobody's figured out the recipe for how they did it.
Part of me thinks it's scare tactics. Like they just said they could do that so that
Maybe
people wouldn't mess with
and maybe
them.
what they did is they set a boat on fire with something normal.
True. I think there was a documentation, at least of the time, it does indicate that things were on fire, but it could have been set up. True. To look worse than it was.
In any case, I must go consume food and rest.
This is true. This is fair.
Enjoy
Thank you.
yourself.
Thank you for a good session, Karserus, and Kyrio. Thanks for staying up for this one. I know you're a little tired, so I hope you get some good rest too.
Indeed. Everybody, please get some good rest. And thank you very much for being such wonderful players. Thank you, audience, for being a great audience. And as always, let me know if you have questions, comments, or concerns. I am here. I try to make myself available.
Ooh, I have one question before you go, actually. Should Rhino be at 6 of 7 health?
Red is at 6 of 7.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, I've been like that for a while. I don't think I've ever healed.
Since we're possibly going to a fight, I figured I'd mention it.
Oh, yeah, it's been a couple days, I think. You should be healed by now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
I just always forget to bring it up I thought of it earlier this session. I'm like, hey, maybe I should use heal pulls on myself just to like get that
welcome.
up.
You're welcome for bringing it up. I just
Oh,
like randomly noticed.
It's been a day. Sorry, not a couple days, but still, you should be healed up.
Long enough to heal a point, yeah. I assume everybody had an experience, so I can stay at the table?
Yes,
did.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Save.
R&R shenanigans are really fun.
Yeah. I think
I like how that's become a thing.
I think it's been a fair break from it. Like, you guys had the entire session pretty much, which is fine by me. But also that makes it logical why it wouldn't be immediately R&R for the next couple sessions. So, like, that little break I think was perfect. So
I've been wanting to resume, but it just hasn't been in the cards, and it's like, no, I don't want to hold
I
on.
know you were pushing for it last session too. You're like, oh, R&R time, yay! I'm like, no, it's training.
Yeah.
Sorry. But now I'm ready to go. I was trying to get Echo Chamber before, just in case, you know, it came down to a fight or something, I would have that ace up my sleeve.
That's fair.
Because it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I forgot to tell Kyrio a thing as soon as they went back. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they just said something in the chat, so I
They
think we
usually,
can,
Kyrio usually hangs around after leaving for a little bit, so you can probably pop a message over.
Kyrio seems to be in the chat. And yes, but I have a bad habit of making everything apparently seem really interesting somehow.
Also, water hunting.
Yes. So
Tucker
Kyrio,
catch fish.
I forgot to mention, but your coat, when you dove back into the water, it seemed much less stiff. So you felt much more flexible in the water with that on than on land.
So it's less stiff in the water. Interesting.
Yes.
Well,
All right, now I'm gonna go.
okay. Good night, Car.
Bye.
And with that being said, I'm going to end the session officially for YouTube. So thank you very much, everyone, for participating, both players, DM, and audience. It's been a nice session. I had a nice chill time today. But yeah, we will resume with session 115 in a couple weeks, so look forward to that. And in the meantime, of course, look out for more streams. The next one will be on Friday for Sage. Oh wait, no, that's going to be a Hallerford Hour, actually. But Sage will be on Sunday. But yeah, I hope you guys all had a good time, and I will see you again for another Pokerole session in a couple weeks.